All right. Today's lesson, we're going to go over how to read a home inspection report. Now, one thing to keep in mind, each individual home inspector usually uses a different format or layout, but they're all essentially the same. But unlike a pest report or an appraisal report, those are identically the same. Here they will use different formats, whether it's a numerical form, alphabetical form, they will still find the findings and you could go through it pretty easily. Now, when you are looking at a home inspection report, the main things you want to look at are things that are deemed a health and safety concern. There are also going to be stuff that's called out, which would be considered cosmetic, not as imperative or not as a big a concern to our buyers. A pest inspection is going to show you a section 1, section 2, and what it would take to get a clearance. A home inspection report doesn't have anything of that nature, but you're going to use this through your negotiations in a form of a request for repair. And a lot of times you're going to reference what you want fixed by the numerical number of the deficiency that they found. Now, keep in mind, these reports can range anywhere from 15 to as long as I've seen 65 pages, depending on how long and how much is wrong with the property. Home inspection reports also give you pictures, so it makes it very convenient, unlike a pest report. Pest reports never show pictures, but a home inspection report, for the most part, always will. So here's an example of a home inspection report. So as we see, here's just the page 1 here. And in this case, the home inspector said it's prepared for the client here, the address, and the date of the inspection. It will give you a table of contents to go over and just talk about a little bit of the definitions of the terms, whether to repair or replace, whether they require further evaluation. One thing about the further evaluation, you want to pay special attention to that. For instance, a home inspector looks at everything from the roof to the foundation to electrical to the plumbing and everything there in between. But he's not a specific tradesman. So if he feels that the roof is compromised, he might say, hey, you might need a certified roofer to go out there and inspect the roof and ask for a possible roof certification. Or if there's some plumbing issues, he might say, hey, this might require a licensed plumber to go into it a little bit deeper. So those are things that you want to look at further. If a home inspector calls for a roof certification, meaning a licensed roof company goes out and evaluates the roof and determines that they can certify the roof typically for 2 or 3 years, meaning that it would not leak for that amount of time, or so they would come back and fix it for free, then that's when you would most likely have a roof certification. Or if they called for any further evaluation, that might be a good time to actually call that specific tradesman for the further evaluation of that finding. So we're going to just kind of go through it here. It talks about the general overview of the home. It's a single family home, 1594 square feet, 1 story, built in 1987, so on and so forth here. Okay. And as we get into it, it's for the most part going to always, like I said, with the pictures, reference some pictures and then what is the deficiency in the property here. So in this case, the exterior, the visible condition of exterior coverings, trim, and entrances are inspected with respect to the effort on the condition of the building. Exterior covering, stucco wood siding, condition, repair or replace. So as you can see, we see some sort of dry rot, wood or paint peeling here, and there's an arrow, so it's saying that that they would repair or replace this area. And I would recommend that as well, because that could be something where, especially if it's dry rot, where termites can start infesting because it appears to be wood. Comment 1, dry rot found at the front porch patio post wrap. Recommended qualified contractor for repairs. So there's one deficiency. Exterior trim here, the condition, repair or replace. Okay. And the finding here on comment 2, dry rot found at the window trim on the roof. Recommended qualified contractor for repairs. So you can see right here that there's possible dry rot can eventually lead to termite infestation. Those things are considered a health and safety concern because termite infestation could lead to wood destroying organisms eating away at the property. Okay. Talks about the windows are vinyl, condition satisfactory. Entry doors, condition satisfactory. There's no balconies or railings. In the backyard, it looks like they found a deficiency in the gazebo. Gazebo post base are damaged due to moisture. Recommend qualified contractor for further evaluation or repairs. And referenced. So when you are asking for repairs on your request for repair, we have a video for that. You want to reference possibly figure 3.1 when you are asking for, hey, we would like the gazebo post base to be repaired on page 6 of 27 of the home inspection report, or figure 3.1. We see it all the time where on a request for repair that they'll just say figure 3.1. Okay. Well, you're not actually asking for a repair if that's the case. You're just referencing it there. Or you're not even, it's more of a diagnostic than asking for repair. So just make sure you watch our video on the request for repairs and how to properly ask for repairs. And again, in the table of contents, talks about the different areas of the home, the roof, the exterior, the interior, the garage, so on and so forth. So you can see the garage here. It was attached, satisfactory. Door opener, satisfactory. It was a chain drive opener. Opening safety feature, light beam, condition, satisfactory. Those are things that you're happy to see in a report and don't need to address as a concern. Here's the roofing. Okay, talks about the design as a gable, inspection method that he walked on the roof in arm's length, looked it all over. The roof covering, concrete tile, metal. There is a finding here, repair or replace. And in this case, the comments, backyard patio roof cover has tree leaves and debris on it, preventing proper drainage for rain. Recommend qualified person for cleaning. So not a big deal. Just get that stuff off of it. But if you don't remove this off the roof, it seems to be clogging the drainage. So on a heavy rain day, if you don't remove this, then spillover can happen and it could cause either flooding or water to intrude in areas that you would not be happy with. As we move down on the report here, talks about the vent stacks, condition, satisfactory, something on the chimney, wood frame, repair or replace. So we know that there needs to be a concern here that we need to address. And dry rot found on chimney, corner, wood trim. Recommended qualified contractor for repairs. Okay. So it's pretty straightforward on these reports. Flashing, metal lead. They're asking to repair or replace on the flashing. It looks like there's a crack there. And in the comments, they said the inspector found a hole in the chimney roof flashing, recommended that to be repaired. The soffit and fascia, repair or replace. Okay. And they always have pictures to reference here. Dry rot found at the northwest corner and southeast corner of the house fascia. Recommend qualified contractor for repairs. So that's a reference to the dry rot there. Dry rot actually is pretty standard, even though it's a health and safety concern. It is something that comes up in more than 50% of the homes in the United States. Fascia boards just oftentimes is the most common one, maybe wood side paneling or something of that nature, but it's just because it's wood and it's exposed to rain and outdoor moisture. The gutters and downspouts, you know, it's metal, the condition, repair, replace. And in this area on the comment regarding that, rain gutters are clogged with debris, recommended cleaner for proper drainage. So this is pretty standard too, because if it doesn't have proper drainage, it starts spilling over here and then it could start coming down the stucco in other areas. Okay, you can see other stuff, foundation types, was slab. Okay, it's not a crawl space. It's not what's called a subfloor. This was a concrete foundation, and the condition is satisfactory. Okay, signs of water penetration, prior waterproofing not present. Okay, and as we check different areas, the attic seems to be satisfactory everywhere in there, which includes sufficient insulation, electrical, and as you go down on the electrical, it looks like they have something here. Actually, it's General Electric, and they said it's satisfactory. So we're okay there. Satisfactory. So we're looking for repair or replace. A broken light fixture at the master bedroom exterior sliding glass door. Recommended qualified electrical contractor for repairs. That was something. Okay. Heating, satisfactory, satisfactory, satisfactory. They found a rip in the ducting, so the comment again on the ducting here, repair, replace. We look at the picture, we go to the comment, torn insulation on the ducting. Okay, so then we know that's a deficiency, and that can be an energy efficient deficiency as well if it's not bringing the hot or cold air into the rooms and just leaking out in the attic there. Cooling looked like everything was satisfactory there. Okay. Plumbing talks about how it's coppered, satisfactory. Looks like and they oftentimes will reference things like this. The main water shutoff, very important here for you to know, because if you ever have a faucet that won't turn off or something water running and it starts to flood the house, you'll want to run outside, find what's called your main water shutoff. So it's referenced here, and that's good to know for future. And as we move alongside here, everything's satisfactory. This just talks about the meter here, where the fuel shutoff would be. Very good to know for our buyers. Water heater, it's a 40-gallon. Everything seems satisfactory, so we don't need to address that. As we move into the bathrooms, everything says satisfactory, satisfactory. Oh, we got to repair and replace here under the sink, right here at the P-trap. Looks like a sink on the south side of vanity is leaking drain. So the home inspector found a leak there. So that would definitely need to be something you want to fix, because then it starts dripping down there underneath into your cabinets. Bathroom, everything else seemed to be satisfactory. Living room, satisfactory. Bedroom 1, satisfactory. Bedroom 2, looks like they might have found something, repair or replace. Here's the picture, and a hole in the sheetrock. Very easy, and that looks small enough where you could just literally do a spackle and then paint. If not, just you could do a quick mud texture and paint over that. Everything else seems to be satisfactory. Bedroom 3, satisfactory. Bedroom 4, satisfactory. So everything is looking pretty good in this home here. We're still going to try to ask for some items to be repaired. It doesn't hurt. Sometimes squeaky wheel gets the grease. But it is not common to ask for every single item in a home inspection report to be fixed. It's not that very common. Okay. You want to kind of pick and choose what is most important to your buyer, which includes health and safety. Those things should always be asked for. But if it's small cosmetic things, maybe they could fix down the line. And you also want to keep things together. Here, for the voucher note of in this case they but it wasn't a concern after all as we into it. Here everything was satisfactory on the deck. Filter, skimmer, heater, so everything was good there. Lawn sprinklers, check those out, seem to be running fine. On the fence, looks like there was a comment. The inspector found several loose fence pickets, dry rot on fence rails, and leaning fence panels due to rotted out fence posts at ground level on north and south side of property lines. Remember, fences typically are a split expense if you do have a neighbor. common misconception is, hey, whatever way the 2x4s are facing is that person's responsible. That's not the case. If you have a fence splitting property lines, it's usually an equal expense. And in this case, this would be a health and safety concern. I would have them, especially a leaning fence, definitely would need to have them prop it up and secure it, because what happens if a child was running under those or running around those during a windy day, it could fall over and that could be an issue. And typically at the end of a report, it's going to give a report summary of error. Okay. And you could see the summary just talks about that they found in the property. So it's a pretty straightforward thing, especially with pictures. I love how it has pictures. Again, unlike the pest report, which doesn't have pictures, just has and then you have to reference it based upon the sketch of the perimeter of the home and find out where your deficiencies are that you need to address. So that's just a basic overview of how to go report. And this is one of the main things you, along with the pest inspection report, when you are going to do your request for repairs. Again, we have a video on that, but this is just to read the report and get yourself familiar with the construction aspect of the business, because you want to have a basic understanding constructed, what things are important, what is a deficient, health and safety, and what is so. I hope you got some value out of this video, and on